Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to talk about It Materialized Out of Nowhere, a subscriber success story. Welcome to the channel. This is the place where we help you hack through the jungles of consciousness so that you can discover the hidden treasures inside of you. If that sounds good, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. I also have coaching available now if you need any assistance with manifesting or want to talk about how you would like things to be as opposed to how they are, emotional mastery, any of the things I cover in my videos on my channel, I'm happy to assist with. So check out the link in the box below. And yeah, let's jump right into the story. So this came from a longtime subscriber. And we're going to get into her story and then kind of talk about the lesson or the learning that came out of this experience. So she's a gardener. Pumpkins are very important to her. That's always part of her garden. And so she typically gets her plants at the farmer's market. And for about 3 weeks, she was trying to find pumpkin plants. Sometimes she starts things from seed. This year she didn't, and she was just looking to buy the plants outright and get them into the garden. And now her husband isn't a big fan of the pumpkins. he always kind of makes her relegate them to actually, a pot out just outside of the garden so they don't take over everything, because pumpkins have a tendency to travel. So this is going to play an important part in the story here. So she went to the farmer's market the first week. Nobody had pumpkins. They had every other vegetable plant, but they didn't have pumpkins. She checked out Lowe's. They didn't have them. She went to pretty much any store that might, plant dealer that may have pumpkin plants, and nobody seemed to carry them. The second week she went back to the farmer's market. Again, no one had pumpkin plants. She did find someone who offered to bring them, and he wrote down her information. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll get these to you. I'll bring them next week." And she felt calm about it. She said of it, "I had a sense that the universe would deliver these pumpkin plants to me. I wasn't agonizing over finding them." She said normally she would be stressed out about it, right? That she had to get these pumpkin plants into the ground during a certain time so that they would, be big enough by Halloween, the time Halloween came around. And the vendors kept telling her, "Look, lady, just go plant some seeds and grow them yourself." That was their advice, right? They seemed pretty indifferent to not having this vegetable plant. And she said, "I was just feeling really calm about it. I knew," the one thing I kept coming back to is that I knew that the universe was going to deliver them. So she went again the third week to the farmer's market. The gentleman who had offered to bring the plants had forgotten. He didn't bring them. And again, nobody had pumpkin plants. And she said that, she left in a very calm state. She was just like, "It's okay. Everything is okay. Like, they're already mine. The universe is going to deliver this to me." So she didn't really work too hard. She did ask about it. She was taking actions. She inquired wherever she went, "Do you have pumpkin plants?" And she knew that, if she had to start them from seed, that was always an option. But she said, "I wasn't going to do that. I didn't feel like I needed to do that." And so after these several weeks went by, she went out to her garden, happenstance in the middle of the afternoon. Now, mind you, her husband watered the garden in the morning. That was his job. And so she went out, and in the garden, after 3 weeks of looking, never finding pumpkin plants, there were teeny little plants popping up out of the garden. And guess what kind of plant they were? They were pumpkin. There were pumpkins sprouting in her garden naturally, just out of nowhere. They literally materialized overnight. She ran back into the house and asked her husband, "Did you see those? Did you see the little pumpkins coming up in the garden?" And he had watered it that morning. He said, "No, because I would have pulled them out." They were literally not there. He walked out and said, "Those were not there this morning when I watered." And it turned out that 6 baby pumpkin plants just miraculously started popping up in her garden. A 7th came up the next day. So she had 6 pumpkin plants growing in her garden that came up and manifested, just literally materialized overnight. And as they were racking their brains, what we do when we have these really incredible manifestations, our brain is often going to try to logic them away. And so she was thinking to herself, how could this have happened? And because she has pumpkins every year and they put compost in, maybe the pumpkin ended up in the compost and then the compost went down into the soil. But that has never, she said, this has never happened with any other vegetable plant, right? We've never had other seeds of other vegetables grow in the garden kind of spontaneously. So now she's got 7 pumpkin plants of her own. She didn't even have to do anything. They literally showed up in her garden. So this is a wonderful success story, something really fun, showing us that we really don't have to do anything. There is a myth that, you shouldn't be taking action, but really it doesn't matter what you do. It matters who you're being. And the lesson here is she was resting in the knowing. She just said, I wasn't agonizing. I knew the universe would deliver them to me. I knew I would have pumpkins this year. It was a given. It was inevitable. And so it doesn't matter what actions you take. She was still asking about pumpkins. She was still going to the farmer's market. When she was out, she would look, but she wouldn't agonize. And that is the key to letting go, right? So it doesn't matter what actions you're taking. It was fine that she was asking. It's still manifested, right? But the letting go of the agonizing that you have to make something happen, right? It's not going to happen without your agency. That's the part we let go of. That this isn't going to happen unless I make it happen. And so that is the part that causes us stress, that causes us, fear, that causes all these negative emotions that then keeps us out of fulfillment. She knew it was inevitable. She would have pumpkins this year in her garden. And she literally did. They came up out of the ground. So, knowing that the universe was going to deliver, just resting in that. So it doesn't matter what actions you take. You can, if it helps you to be taking steps towards whatever you want, that's good. It keeps you in fulfillment. You can still be asking about the pumpkins. You can still be resting in knowing that it's going to happen. So I wanted to share this cool story. If you have a story that you would love featured on the channel, go ahead and drop me a line at odysseyhuman@outlook.com. I will put the link below in the description box. And yeah, I will put as many as I can on the channel if you would love your success story shared with subscribers. So thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Rest in fulfillment. Know it's already yours and there's nothing you have to do, but you can do if you want to have things materialize for you in your reality. Have a great day. Bye.